All right. I believe we are live. Can you give me a thumbs up? And we are live on this side, and it should start up about now. Here we go. Hey, how is everybody? Who's in the chat room? Chris Card, what up, dude? You're always here. Robin, Bradley, Robin, Dave Larkins, Dave Y, Sean, Skullcap Savant. What's up, dude? All right, let's get going. Lots to cover, lots to talk about. I'll get into the election a little bit. There's stuff I can't talk about, but first let's talk about silver. We were gone a couple days, like a week, getting some well-deserved, I don't know, just a break, a regroup type of thing, and now we are back. In the meantime, cryptos have gone crazy and silver has gone crazy. You guys all should know why. No, it's not because the economic system is about to die. It's not because, yes, they are great assets, but there is no free market in either exchanges. All the exchanges on the crypto side are rigged. All the exchanges on the U.S. stock market, the bond market, the currency markets, it's all rigged. Every single one of them. Originally by Alan Greenspan in the 1960s and 70s with computer programs he wrote to create the first financial system. But now by Steve Mnuchin, the head of the U.S. Treasury, was the head of IT for Goldman Sachs. The IT department is the department that rigs markets for Goldman, and you guys know that story. So where are we on silver? Why did it go up above the 50-day moving average? Remember, there are competing groups now. JP Morgan is pretty much done on the full rigging side. They can't go balls out rigging. But there are people who have taken their place. They're co-conspirators, shall we say, BlackRock and a company called Virtu Financial. Virtu Financial, people get a little confused about someone like Virtu Financial that really doesn't take many positions on anything. It's all high frequency trading, but at the same time they can pull out any trick in the book. Now, we just moved over the 50-day moving average. This is why supposedly all the technical funds are getting in to silver, and we moved over to the moving average. Now, everything's triggered on a price movement. These are weak hands. They're going to sell when it goes back below the 50-day moving average. So companies like Virtu Financial will capitalize on that. So just be aware. It can very easily get slammed down to anything they want. It's a computer program. And I believe Virtu Financial is 100% supported by the DOJ and the CFTC. So just hang on tight. Yes, silver will go up. What we're looking for is the end of the COMEX. And the end of the COMEX may come in December. There's 135,000 contracts outstanding, which is like 650 million ounces. Everybody knows they can't deliver 650 million ounces in December. But we didn't think they could deliver so much in the past year. And where did it go? It went to the SLV inventories. Authorized participant is Virtu Financial. Also, JP Morgan runs their whole inventory warehouse of silver. It's corrupt from the top to the bottom. And there is no, but VIX, this is a lot of retail buyers are buying. Retail buyers didn't sell or buy 650 million ounces yesterday. That's how much was traded on the COMEX. It's got nothing to do with anything other than control and manipulation. So keep that in mind when you get excited about silver moving up. They could put it at zero with a click of a mouse, or they could put it at $1 million with a click of a mouse. And ultimately, in the end, they probably will, one or the other. So I guess we'll find out soon enough. But I do like the gold-silver ratio right now. I think, obviously, silver has a lot of room to make up in the historical gold-silver ratio. If there's anything, holding you back, or you're contemplating gold versus silver, just look at the silver coming out of the ground at, I think it's 8-1, and silver that is available for investment, who knows? It's probably 1-1. about 6 billion ounces of each, because silver's been used up, and yes, gold has been dug out of the ground and stuck back in the ground in a vault. The gold silver ratio should, at a minimum, in my opinion, today be under 10 at a minimum. And it's like 70, 80. So if you have any gold, great time to swap it out. If you don't know who can swap it for you, send my friend Andy Scheckman an email, andy@milesfranklin.com, milesfranklin.com. And they can do swaps for your gold for silver, or silver for gold if you're absolutely insane. But definitely think 5 times before you hang on to any sentimental gold pieces you have. Not only because of the known ratios are way out of whack, but also there's massive amounts of gold all over the world. The Grand Canyon, Chocolate Mountain, Yamashita's gold, secret gold caves in China, gold under every pyramid in the United States. There is gold everywhere, every single place in the world. So those of you thinking, oh, we're going to go on a quantum financial system, how much gold is there? Jeffrey Christian will tell you there's 200,000 tons. I'm telling you right now, there's over 2 million tons, which is at least 10 times more. And there's silver and gold all throughout the universe. Silver is a different thing, though. It's hard to find silver. I do find it interesting that the little lunar rocket they sent up to the moon and crashed it into the moon to find out if it what it was made of in the dust, and it rang like a bell, like a silver bell. By the way, in the dust they found silver. What are the odds are crashing a rocket on planet Earth and in the dust finding silver? Probably 0.00001%. The fact that the one time we do it and we hit the moon and there's silver all over the dust, what does that tell you? Go back to your spirituality, the moon and silver, the gold of the sun. I've already talked to you guys about the amount of gold in the sun. Trillions of tons. Estimated, I think it was 2 trillion tons of gold. If you want to know how gold came upon the earth, and it wasn't in the crashing of big bang dust balls. It was from the sun, and the sun seeds the whole universe full of, or not the universe, but our solar system, full of all kinds of minerals, especially gold. And that's been measured by official scientists, by the way. All right. So that's my take on silver. It'll be rigged till the very last day. That's why it's so important to stay out of the exchanges. I can't tell you when they're going to slam it back down. I don't know if they're going to allow it to go up over 50. But if it does go up over 50, companies that have the short position at that point in time, which is probably BlackRock and Virtu Financial, will be destroyed, and all their customers would be destroyed, which would kick off the derivative meltdown. So careful what you ask for. It's like Cliff High said. Yes, we're going to see $800 silver, but you're not going to want to live in an $800 silver world. So think about that as you root silver on. I'm ready for it. Bring it on. It's time to have a rejiggering of the system. I don't think it's going to be the quantum financial system that the jabronis keep talking about, but hey, something like that would be great. But there's no rejiggering the old system. You need to destroy the old system before you start something new. And of course, it can't be gold. You can't transport gold. It's not a currency of the future. It's the currency of the past. Is it money? Yeah, it's a form of money you can store. And nobody knows how much there is. That's the other problem. There's 21 million Bitcoin. And there will always be 21 million Bitcoin. How many tons of gold are there? How many ounces of gold? Nobody knows. I mean, my take of my research is over 2 million tons. That's 10 times what the mainstream will tell you. Guys like Jeffrey Christian who work for the bankers. So just keep an eye on everything going on. Remember, we're coming to the end of the road to Ruta. The road to Ruta being really started when they created the Federal Reserve System in 1913. Right before that, they found billions and billions of ounces of gold in the Grand Canyon. Billions and billions of ounces at a time when there was only 100 million ounces in circulation, or within the U.S. being used as money. 200 million, 200 million ounces, not tons, 200 million ounces in the world back then, in the early 1900s. So think about that when you think about, wait, what's happening to the Federal Reserve? Why are they printing money like it's going out of style? How come Catherine Austin Fitts is finding hundreds of millions, billions of trillions, hundreds of trillions of dollars in the bond market? All created out of thin air, all fraudulent, because that's what goes on behind the scenes. All right, that's my little soliloquy. Good word. Let's go to questions. My lovely assistant Amy is here, has joined me. Amy, do we have any questions in the audience?
We sure do.
Remember, you must speak loud.
I'll try. Have you heard of the DHS watermark on ballots?
Go right to right to the election. Yes, I did hear of that. I talked about it in the private road today. It's actually in this document right here, which is the USPS patent on that kind of technology. So the rumor is, oh, by the way, Democrat criminals were set up by the good guys, Trump and those guys, and they put watermarks with digital IDs on all the ballots so that if they were thrown away, and the watermarks were trackable like an RFID chip. And supposedly, if they throw them away, they can find them. If they tear them up, they can find them. If they create new ones, they can invalidate the fake. They know which ones are fake and which ones are real because of this watermark that the Department of Homeland Security. It's not a watermark. Actually, it's a. They call it something else. Giuliani's calling it a watermark, but it's actually trackable. It's a I forgot the name of it, but you can track it like a GPS. So if this is true, Trump's got it in the bag, and the Democrats will be exposed for the criminals they are. There's a lot of, hey, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of criminals on the Republican side too. So we will see what happens. Tanya, thank you for the $10. Very kind of you, since we weren't working for a week. All right, Amy, what's the next question?
All right, Bob Barker.
Bob Barker. The Price is Right.
He's just asking if you could interview Zachary K. Hubbard at Gemantria Effect News.
I don't really do any interviews, really. I go on their interviews sometimes, and I don't know anything about it. The Gemantria stuff with the, yeah, I know a little about that. It doesn't really interest me, but it's kind of cool. Some people are into it. All right, next question.
Somebody's asking, I thought the end of the comics was going to happen in October.
No, that was there when J.P. Morgan was taken out, the end of September. So J.P. Morgan, well, they weren't taken out of the market; they were taken out of the market rigging leadership, and that's when BlackRock and Virtu Financial are. Yeah, who knows when silver will end? I mean, the silver manipulation has been going on for probably over 100 years. Since I've been analyzing it, it's been 20 years. There's little victories here and there, and we expose more and more, and everybody knows it now. Remembering that the world there's a lot of enemies, financial enemies of the U.S. all around the world, and we're on our knees with silver, physical silver. Remember that. I mean, Venezuela can take us down just by buying up silver. Sell their gold and buy silver, and voila. Or even some of the cryptos, which they are. So there's consequences to rigging the market for so long. It's put the United States in a very vulnerable position. So they won't go up, the rigging won't end without some kind of cataclysm. And I think that's coming before the end of the year. But it should have come years ago, decades ago. All right, next question.
All right, Himalayan Salt Lamp is asking, what do you think is one unlikely coin to do good just off the top of your head?
Veritasium is the lottery ticket. I did hear that Reggie was close to getting his patent, which is very odd. And the 98 million Veritasium tokens are still frozen by the DOJ. And if you're looking for that lottery ticket, I'd say Veritasium if you can get your hands on it. Next question, please.
Okay. Pete, I'm going to mess up his other.
Pete.
1983.
1983.
If you use the CARES Act medical emergency to withdraw from my 401k with less penalties. Will Vanguard ask for proof?
I don't know. All these new rules, I doubt they'll ask for proof of anything. But I know a lot of people who are doing that. My buddy Will Lair of Perpetual Assets will set you up with a self-directed IRA that you can take a loan out. Is it a loan? No, you can do the withdrawal, the CARES Act withdrawal, and then put it in a self-directed IRA. I mean, there's a lot you can do right now with all these free programs out there, and I don't know. They pretty much give away the money. That's what's going on. Everybody gets free money. So I'd go for it. Anything that you can get money out of the system is all good by me. Next, please.
Do you think the price of silver will be slammed back down before December because it's a delivery month? That was by Josh Lake.
Oh, Josh Lake. Well, thank you. Thank you for the question. Well, I was looking at it, and it's off and on. There's many delivery month dilemmas. The mid-September, and they slammed the price of silver down because they knew they had to get it, I think, by the end of the year, or by the end of the fiscal year of the U.S. So, yeah, I would assume they will slam the price down in December because it's the end of the fiscal year for the banks, and they can't show huge losses. It depends where it is. Now, if the banks are going long, well, we already know J.P. Morgan's long physical, but if the banks are going long, or if Virtu Financial or BlackRock is going long, and they need to cook their books by the end of the year, they can easily drive the price up also. So my take is I don't know, and nobody knows, but I wouldn't plan on that as a time to get in. Oh, I can buy now that it dropped down to $2. Most likely, if it drops anywhere below 20, you won't be able to, anywhere like 10 or 5, you won't be able to pick it up for under 20 because it's the broken market and it's all computer rigging. So I think by the end of the year, the likelihood is it's more likely to be over $500 than it is to be under $15. So if you think about the downside potential and the upside potential, it's better off just getting in, hodling, get your metal in your own possession, in my opinion. But this is not financial advice. All right. N.O. Sky, thank you for the super chat.
Yes.
In euros. Is that euros or pounds? Euros.
Right.
What was the question?
I didn't see her question.
Oh.
Love your show. Just wanted to announce my Twitter account, AQ Time, with 18,000 got suspended for no reason.
Wow. Yeah. We've been trying to lay low as far as talking about things that they don't want to hear. But it's hard. I mean, how can you talk about the election? They don't want to hear any of it. So, unfortunately, at the time being, our country's media has been taken over. So, what do? We can act like Dick Allgaier and just say, "Hey, it's the bad guys. There's nothing you can do about it," or we could keep bitching and moaning and spreading the word and, like my friend Bitcoin Ben, sue them. And a lot of people are picking up lawsuits against Google and YouTube for various reasons.
Sorry about that.
And good on them. You can either fight the fight or go hide in Hawaii, Dick. Get out there and fight the fight with us. We'll take care of it for you. You're in retirement. You go to the beach and play guitar, start your guitar. I'll be there when the fight is over. How's that? All right, next question, please.
All right, Robin Barnett. If you buy crypto, can it be taken away?
If you buy anything, it can be taken away unless you hide it. Can gold and silver be taken away from you? Yes. Can U.S. dollars be taken away from you? Yes. Can food be taken away from you? Yes. Are you going to take responsibility for the security of your assets is the bigger question. Would I, if the government came and outlawed all cryptocurrencies and said, Big Weir, time to turn in your cryptocurrencies, I would never, ever, 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 ever even entertain the thought of it. That's the ridiculous. See, it's those things. It's like, what are you going to do when tyranny comes? Are you going to bend over and take it, or are you going to stand up and say no? Come and get it. And that's why you have guns. So I don't think it'll come to that. I think the good guys are going to win. And so the people you have to worry about taking your cryptos are probably online people who are going to say, "Oh, this is Big Weir. Send me your private keys, and I'll give you more Bitcoin." Stuff like that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't give anybody your private keys. Always assume, if it's someone new, always assume that someone's trying to steal something from you. That's just the way it is. We can't rely on the nanny state to, people were bitching at me about some crypto exchange that stole their cryptos. And I'm like, it's unregulated. This is freedom at its finest. It's lying, it's cheating, it's stealing. But what does that do? It forces you to think for yourself and protect your own assets. That's where we are. All right, next question, please.
All right. Cottage Cheese asks, Bix, if the big steal is allowed to proceed, how does that affect the crypto and metals market, i.e. more criminal activity?
Well, I would say the Trump administration is knee deep in financial criminal activity. They're the ones doing it right now. Just to keep you aware that the good guys and the bad guys are rigging the markets. If Biden gets in, what will that do? The crypto markets and the silver markets? I think the crypto markets would benefit a hell of a lot with a Biden win because it's deep state. And there'll be more criminality within cryptos, but a lot of the deep state has cryptos. So I think the cryptos would do very well in a Biden administration. Silver and gold will be attacked. And don't forget, the banksters and our controllers, they control both parties. So it's nothing will change necessarily, unless the entire system gets taken down by somebody, Venezuela or Russia or China or anybody with a few $1 billion can take all the silver and just take it for themselves, or Mexico can shut their border to exporting silver like they should have done decades ago. The U.S. is on our knees right now because of the manipulation of silver. And it was the silver that, along with everything else, takes down the bad guys, which I think, I'm hearing rumors that November 11th is when the kimono will be opened for the criminals who are rigging the election boxes right now. So we'll find out next week, right? But I do see great things coming in the U.S. I think ultimately Trump will win. I know he's got more aces up his sleeve. And then I think, okay, what if he doesn't win the election and he's got, 2 more months to finish the job, arrest the pedophiles and the criminals and all that? That could get chaotic. No, you can't arrest a duly elected president, even though he broke the law. Of course you can. Of course you can. And that I don't want to see. That would get a little too slippery. As far as just where I live on the West Coast, so many people have been brainwashed by the media. It's sad to see, but it's the world we live in. Next question, please.
All right, Dr. Doom. I heard soon you will be able to attach smart contracts to Litecoin. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think you could do it. Can you do it now? I mean, you can. But as in a rollout of a system, yeah, you could do that for Bitcoin as well. That was the talk when altcoins, quote, altcoins were coming around. The Bitcoin maximalists would say, yeah, you can do smart contracts with Bitcoin, no problem. We just choose not to. Well, if you go smart contracts with Bitcoin, it has to be off-chain, which I don't think is a problem, because the Bitcoin network is the slowest network known to man, and most expensive. So, yeah. Yes, you can. The short answer is yes. And I think actually, who was it? I think Veritasium was originally on the Bitcoin blockchain. I think before they moved to Ethereum. So I would say yes. Next, please. But why use Litecoin when you can use Theta? Did you just hit your head? And you just bashed your head. Theta has the smart contract functionality coming out within, 45, 50 days. Woohoo! And they'll probably get on Coinbase before the end of the year. Woo! Got Theta? I mean, I know I've been jumping up and down about Theta. It's gone from 5 cents to wherever it is now, 60. It's going to $60, $600, and then up to the thousands. No doubt in my mind. That is the best project out there. It's the best crypto out there. Next, please.
Sean Zaman, Cardano and Litecoin partnership soon.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of Cardano. I don't like the guy who split away from Ethereum to invent Cardano. I hear he's an ass. I don't know though. Just rumors. Not something I want to dive into. But yeah, Theta is hooking up with everybody these days. So I don't put anything by something like that. Next, please.
All right, the Divine Plane. Do you actually think we went to the moon?
I know we've been to every planet in our solar system and probably every moon on every planet. I have night vision goggles that I can see spacecraft flying around at night. I don't know if we went with our technology that we invented solely on our own. It's more like either reverse engineered or hand me down stuff from other races. But absolutely, I don't think we went in the tin can that Neil Armstrong flew in. I've seen it. It won't work. But other craft, yes, absolutely. There is a secret space program. We funnel trillions of dollars into it, and I see it at night. So that's my answer. Next question.
All right. Crypto Chris Card. How can DOJ freeze very tokens?
DOJ. Well, it wasn't the DOJ. Yeah, it was. DOJ froze the very tokens by confiscating. These are just the 98 million that Reggie had. There was 100 million tokens created. Reggie controlled 98 million of them, and that was his business. He was going around to the exchanges teaching them how to do peer-to-peer transactions. When the DOJ they froze all Reggie's assets, including all his cryptocurrencies. And Reggie didn't hide anything. He was very upfront and said, "Okay, here it all is." And then they froze it, but he had Bitcoin and Ethereum as well, and they didn't freeze that. They gave that to the workout lawyer, which nobody's heard anything from. It's all very sketchy. It's all very, and then you have the Talbot guy, the president they brought on who worked for the good guys and literally back in the 1980s invented the computer model trading programs, and was really upstanding guy. And he was going to implement Veritasium into our markets, as in the COMEX and the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ and all that. And the bad guys couldn't have any of that. Then they couldn't lie, cheat, and steal, so they took him down. They took Reggie down. Luckily, he's still alive, and they just took him down through ridiculous SEC filings. And that's where it stands. So 98 million right now is in the hands of, I don't even know whose hands they are in, but they're frozen. I think it's a combination of Reggie and the DOJ would need to unfreeze them. Maybe. But that's where it is. Next, please.
Okay. Kolb M. Trent 5. If Biden gets elected, how fast do you think our economy will spiral into depression since they are taking out natural gas and fracking, which is a huge part of everything in America?
Well, that's not why it would happen. It would happen because Trump would stop rigging the markets and let them fall where they may. Because Steve Mnuchin controls the computer programs through the New York Fed, and Trump controls Mnuchin, they can do that tomorrow. It's not going to be because of anything. It'll be other than either they stop the manipulation or Trump says, take it all down. We're going to take it all down. And then all you have to do is have Steve Mnuchin reversed his entire system and crash every market known to man, taking out the derivative market, which takes out everything. That's that's where we stand, and that can very easily happen, and I think it will happen at some point. I don't know if it will be the Democrats who have control of that button as well. A lot of different entities can control the destruction of the system right now. The U.S. is the number one market rigger on planet Earth by far, by magnitudes higher than anybody else, and nobody crosses the U.S. when it comes to anything. Their currency, anything financial, they click a mouse and you're done with. So I think Trump will, if it's true that they win, which I don't think that Biden will. That's the deep state winning. I think if they do win, Trump will pull the card, or just press the button, destroy the markets, and let the chips fall where they may. Scary, huh? All right, Amy, what's the next question?
All right, David Cerny, or Kearney, could be that one. If there's 2 million tons of gold, why banksters rig the gold market through paper contracts? They could openly say that fact, and the price of gold should go significantly low.
No, they're not necessarily. Obviously, they're not all that interested in low gold prices compared to low silver prices. They've let the gold price run over double its 1980 high, and silver's at a third or half of its 1980 high. So gold's an interesting one. They don't necessarily want low gold prices. I think they'll want higher gold prices when there's talk of going back onto a gold standard or something to that effect. Of course, they'd want higher. Remember, who's got the gold? That's the key. Who has the gold? The banksters have the gold. They don't care if the price is high. They own it, and they have gives them more control over you. Silver, on the other hand, is the number one bank killer because they have to go so short to keep that price down that it leaves them exposed to what happened to J.P. Morgan, what happened to Bear Stearns, what happened to Drexel Burnham, what happened to AIG. Now, J.P. Morgan did something smart 10 years ago. When they picked up the Bear Stearns short position, they decided to hoard as much physical silver as possible so they didn't get belly up bankrupted like Bear Stearns did. But they still had to they're going to have to get rid of their silver rigging short position. The question is, where does it go? And I believe it's going to Virtu Financial and BlackRock and a consortium of those guys, because you can't have it. It was with JP Morgan, Citibank, Bank of America, HSBC, Nova Scotia. Those are all under the banking license, and you got to get it off that because of the regulators. BlackRock doesn't have to listen to anybody. BlackRock runs the Fed for the Fed right now, which is ridiculous. So yeah, we'll find out. That's the beauty of this whole thing, is we'll find out soon enough. I think by the end of the year. Next question, please, Amy.
Okay, Silver Warrior. Question: do you think the second wave of the CV will be more of an actual bioweapon instead of the common flu? Do you think there will be a second wave at all?
I do think that the bad guys will release another wave. I think they're going to do it not as spreading it human to human. I think they put it in the water and in the local grocery stores and large gatherings and aerosol sprays and stuff like that. I mean, this is the end of the bad guys. They're going to do everything they can, everything they are allowed to do. I don't think they're going to be allowed to set off like a nuke or anything. I think we're being protected by, shall we say, other beings, both spiritual and extraterrestrial. So they do have limits on what the bad guys can do. But yeah, they're going to do everything else. Why not? So that's why we're seeing the total destruction of our voting system. What's going on now is beyond horrific if you're an American. The moderators being blocked out of all the voting places for hours as one candidate gets hundreds of thousands of votes just out of the blue without any, probably no ballots either. So that's why it's so important that I think the good guys did take care of the ballot thing by coding every single ballot with blockchain identifier, and that will come into play on the recount. They're going to recount places like Pennsylvania and say, "Oh my God, it was 2,100,000 to 2,100,000 before, and now it's 2,100,000 or 2,500,000 to 1,000,000 or a half a million. Not many people voted for that guy, and they had to make it up the whole way along. So we'll find out, right? We'll find out soon enough. 11th for the election. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out. All right, next, please.
All right, Silver Gambit. Can you speculate on when you think Theta will hit Binance and Coinbase?
It's on Binance. Well, it's on Asian Binance. It's not Asian. Anything but U.S. Binance. Yeah, I think by the end of the year, it's such a big deal that because it opens up. I was talking about this morning. Not only crypto people are going to be interested in Theta for the cryptography side of it, but technology people will be interested in it for it having the ability to solve one of the biggest tech problems we have in the world right now, which is overcapacity on the internet, especially with all these Zoom meetings and high definition movies. And wait till we get into 3D reality. The internet would not work. It would not work today in that reality, and that's coming. So once people find that out, they're going to say, "Holy crap! I'm just going to buy this thing called Theta because of the technology, not necessarily that it's a cryptocurrency." And Coinbase will be a large step to get that. And then, Binance. Although I don't trust the Binance folks at all, they're deep state cabal guys. So just be careful with Binance and Bitfinex and all that malarkey. All right, next question, please.
Crap, it just went too fast. Hold on. Well, okay. Kind of lost track of where I was.
We have a slight delay.
Himalayan salt lamp. Did you already say, or do you think Trump is going to win?
I think he has won the most votes, the most electoral votes, the most people votes. If the votes were counted properly, if they weren't throwing in, I heard 3 truckloads came into Pennsylvania or Philadelphia in the middle of the night of ballots, paper ballots. I mean, what's going to happen in the end? Road to take is absolutely 100% Trump because the good guys are in charge now. They're doing it all on purpose. If they weren't, it wouldn't be that close at all. So there would be people being arrested for not allowing them into the polling place. Completely illegal. And that's what they're doing in Philadelphia. All kinds of videos of people tearing up ballots, separating the two and putting one in the trash bag. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So somebody asked, does Theta create bandwidth? Yes. In essence, it does. It's a network where you're sharing your bandwidth with a community of, it's decentralized bandwidth, basically. So yes. You'll still have CDNs, the content delivery network hubs and things like that. As it gets harder and harder on the internet, more and more people will be setting up Theta nodes, and then it's really waiting on Theta Fuel, the value of the token, to be realized, because companies like Netflix and YouTube are absolutely depending on the internet being fast enough to download all movies that they have. So they will be buying Theta Fuel to access the Theta broadband sharing network. There you go. All right, Amy Weir.
All right. Mark Cornett asked, today on the Dutch news, some agency in the U.S. is planning to confiscate Bitcoin in order to raise the price. Have you heard anything about it?
Wait, say that again. Sorry, I missed it.
The Dutch news, some agency in the U.S. is planning to confiscate Bitcoin in order to raise the price.
I know what it is. Okay,
Have you
I got
heard
it.
anything?
You're getting louder and louder, by the way. Yeah, it was supposedly they're talking about the old Silk Road Bitcoin. There was a million Bitcoin. If they confiscate it, I thought they already had it, or maybe they think it was from Silk Road or something. Somebody accessed it, so another ridiculous story came up on like a Wall Street Journal or Forbes or something. No one's gonna take your Bitcoin. Bitcoin and cryptos are the future. Um, Everybody who declares that Bitcoin is dead over the past, I mean, there's been hundreds of them over the past 10 years have been 100% wrong and have missed out on massive gains. And if you don't have any cryptos to date, you're going to miss out on massive gains in the future. It's just, can you hold it? How long can you hodl? I've been hodling since Bitcoin was 200 bucks. And what's it, 15, 16,000 right now? It's going to go to a $500,000. It'll go to $1 million, probably 10 million over time. So yeah, there you have it. And if you're not in and you don't understand it, take some time to understand it. Go to YouTube. You can ask any question on the YouTube search function about cryptos. And if you don't want to participate, if you think we're crazy, okay, that's fine too. We'll wave as we drive by in our jalopies, our flying RVs. All right, next question.
Steve LaPointe, thank you for the super chat.
Oh, thank you for the super chat. The super chat. Steve.
He's saying, Bix, you still expecting triple-digit silver by end of December. Thanks for all your hard work.
I do. Of course, that would mean a shutdown on the comics, so I don't know. I'm not fully sure where it would be priced, other than the larger coin shops will say, hey, we got to figure something out here. But it won't be priced on the comics because that would mean some of the big banks would have gone down and destroyed all banks. So, yeah, I do expect chaos between now and the end of the year, monetary chaos. All right, next question, please.
Another super chat.
Yahoo!
Giancarlo him. Hey, brother in silver, do you think the rigging will stop due to a criminal regulation, or will it be planned by the powers that be? Cheers from Amsterdam.
It won't be a regulation issue, and it won't be planned by the powers that be. It will be planned by the good guys, the Q movement type of people, that destroys, because they know if you let silver run free, you're going to destroy every bank on planet Earth, all the 401ks, everything gone. Why? Because there's huge banks that have to be short. And if you take down like JP Morgan or Citibank or any of the remaining banks that are short silver, or even BlackRock, you take down all their customers and the other banks. All the banks will be selling the same assets, like we saw in 2008. We had a moment of time when we could take down the banksters, and we chose not to. I think this time we're not going to choose not to. We're going to take them down and move forward, hopefully. We will find out, though. Thank you for the super chat. All right, Amy, next question.
Hit the thumbs up.
Hit the thumbs up, Amy said. Give me a thumbs up. 192. 3. Nice job.
Sean Zaman, should we hodl through next year or cash out and then reinvest when it corrects?
I talked about this morning. Nobody knows. So if you're looking to play a pullback in silver and cryptos and then put money in and pull it out at the high, it's easy to do in retrospect. You can look back, the last 10 years in silver and in crypto and say, well, I'm so smart. I bought here, I sold here, I bought here, I sold here, I bought here. When you're in the middle of it, you have no idea. Only the bankers like JP Morgan who orchestrate the rigging jobs know where it's going to go. So my advice, don't even mess with it. Get what you need to get today, sit back and hodl and wait. Because we're way too close to some chaos for you to be trying to buy dips and shit like that. Get it in your possession. Stand on the sidelines, unfold the lawn chair, sit down in it, crack a beer, and watch the show. That's my take. Amy.
Joe Johnson. Bix, are you a fan of Digibyte?
I am a fan of Digibyte. They are not my number one holding, and I'm just a fan of Digibyte because it's kind of good, and it might be picked up in certain applications. Not because it's great. I think I think it'll do well depending on who it hooks up with as a solution, a payment solution. Um, but I like Digibyte a lot better than most of the cryptocurrencies out there. Not all of them, but they're in my. I have like 20 that I like, and then the rest I pretty much don't like. Not that I've like some I haven't even looked at and analyzed, and because I already found the ones I think are going to do best. So, all right, next question, please.
All right, Brian Anderson. Bix, did you hear about the confiscation of Silk Road's Bitcoin? 1 billion.
Yep, we just talked about that.
This morning.
Yeah, yeah. I think the article was from a long time ago. I thought they already had that Bitcoin, maybe not. But when you say confiscation, the guy's in jail for something he did. Whether or not he deserves to be in jail, he wasn't selling the human beings and the organs on his website, but at the same time, he knew it was being done. So that's why Ross ended up in jail. Whether or not you think that's right or wrong doesn't really matter. The question of confiscating that Bitcoin, I would say that Bitcoin was gotten by dastardly means, shall we say. Right or wrong, he knew it was illegal. That's why he hid so well. So I wouldn't say confiscating, because the confiscation thing kind of means that it didn't deserve to be confiscated. It might not have been, but when you break the law, you gotta figure they're gonna do something, right? And if you're asking, am I worried that the U.S. government will dump a billion or a million bitcoins on the market? They have done that before with the half a million with the Mt. Gox bankruptcy. They went to the trustee and had them do that in 2017. If they do it, I don't know. Look at the volumes, though. I mean, the volumes in Bitcoin, that would be a couple days worth of trading. So, they'd back it up with, all these derivative trades as well, though. So, yes, they still control, the government still controls cryptos. The bad guys still control cryptos. So I'm not worried about it. If the cryptos go down, I'll buy some more type of thing, right? I'm a hodler. Next, please.
Okay. JK, he asked, when are we planning on visiting London so we can meet?
Oh, Amy, no wonder Amy picked that up. She loves to travel, and we were in London, I don't know, 5 years ago or something. Long time ago. Absolutely. I love England. I loved Ireland. I love Scotland. I love Europe too. And I hope things open up soon so that we had a big long tour planned out. The road trip was going to take us everywhere in the U.S. and then we were going to branch out. But the battles between the good guys and bad guys took over. What do you do? So yes, but when we are there, absolutely, we'll do a big have a party. Parties are good. Next, please.
Okay. Magic Torch. Hey Bix, if there is some kind of reset and taxes will be high, the more you own to redistribute wealth. Is there any point to hodl crypto and silver if taxing will be so bad you cannot spend it?
Well, any reset, there'd be no taxes. If the current system goes on without a reset, that's when the taxing comes. So yeah, obviously, you hit a point where if the Democrats want to raise taxes, again, Trump is if somehow by a fluke of nature that this Biden's declared the victor and it holds, Trump will destroy the economic system to take out the bad guys, and he should. They belong in jail, and I trust in the good guys knowing what they're doing. I think Trump is playing his game, and he's got him where he wants him. And it's nerve-wracking to watch for a Trump supporter as he walks this tight line of, oh my God, they're going to throw him in prison they're going to impeach him and all this shit. But he never gets nailed. He knows what's going on beforehand every single time. So we all knew they were going to rig the mail-in paper ballots. So Trump knew, the NSA knew, the NSA had all the emails back and forth of all the people coordinating the mass fraud. So yeah, I do think we're going to see something like, oh, by the way, every ballot has been watermarked with a blockchain identifier, and if there's any that are not, we need to count it. We need to recount on the ballots and throw out the ones that are not. And then if there are ballots that are in the back of people's trucks, back of people's cars, thrown in a dump, we have those identifiers as well, and we will find them. And then it'll track back to the person, and they'll ask the person, okay, who did you vote for? And 99.9% will be Trump. I mean, there's so many ways that Trump can nail them right now. He's just letting them, hey, let them do what they need to do. And at the end of the day, throw them all in jail. That's what Trump has been stopped from doing, though. I mean, Comey belongs in jail, and Obama and Biden, and they all belong in jail. But we're in this mess we're in. You know, one might say we've made it this far, but we're in this mess we're in because he didn't arrest them. And I think it's time. It's time for definitely some justice to be served. All right, we got 10 minutes. Amy, next question.
Okay, Patrick Gelpy. Hey Bix, thank you for your passion. What do you think about Zilla Q?
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Right.
I haven't investigated. There was a super chat that I think you missed.
I already thanked him.
Okay.
Great show as ever. Just wondering your thoughts on Chainlink from Matt.
I like Chainlink, but I'm not investing in Chainlink. I think there's other better coins to invest in. Next.
Do you own any Hedra Hashcraft?
Hedra Hashcraft?
At Echo 6.
No. Reasons, it's unproven. It'll take forever. Actually, the guys at Theta have integrated the Byzantine fault, whatever, into their blockchain as well. It's kind of like a mini version of Hedra. But yeah, it's one of those things that it could work. It's unproven, and we're talking years, if not, a decade before we know anything about that. And then it takes just one hiccup on an unproven technology. Just think how long it took Bitcoin to become a proven technology. So, yeah, I'm not saying anything bad about it. I just don't think it has the speed or the network effect to work. Next, please.
Okay, Dex Lab, your thoughts on XRP if Biden wins?
Biden wins, XRP does well. Remember, XRP is a banker criminal coin. Now, if Trump takes down the bankers, then obviously XRP goes to zero. Because without the banks, there's no need for XRP. So XRP is a criminal banker coin that's centralized. I don't know why anybody likes it other than the banks. And most of the banks don't even like it. JP Morgan is going to release the same thing and call it, the JPX or whatever they want to call it, and get all their banker buddies to buy into that one, and everybody sells their XRP, and I'm not a fan. It's a deep state banker coin. Next, please.
That's about it.
Okay.
Kind of. I mean, there's last minute ones, but...
Okay. I want to thank you guys for joining in on this call. Give me a thumbs up. And I don't know. I'm very, very hopeful and looking forward to the future no matter what happens. I know our country has to change. And a strong Trump win or a strong Biden win, not much would change. I think we're going through all this for a reason and a purpose. And that purpose is going to be, we need to learn to take care of ourselves and stop looking at these criminal, crazy government employees for the answers. Socialism doesn't work. I hate to tell all the Democrats, but it just doesn't. It kills more people than any other thing, even more than religion. So yeah, my take is, hey, let's let the government go crazy. Let's take care of ourselves. It's not a selfish type of thing. It's either that or have the government take care of us for our whole lives, and they shouldn't be taking care of us for any of our lives. Obviously, they're not doing a good job based on what's been happening. All right. Anyway, I want to thank you guys. This is Big Weir. Go to roadtoruta.com. Sign up for the private road. I give out 25 Theta fuel on a paper wallet. I used to give out a while back. I gave out 1.1 Bitcoin with every subscription. That is today worth $1,500. So, just imagine what Theta is going to be in like 5 years. If Michelle White Dove is correct, it's $1,000. That's $25,000 we're giving away at Road to Root. Or Amy right now is like, don't give it away any more coins. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Go to roadtoruta.com. There's a free section too. Sign up on the top left. I'll talk to you guys later.